More food that fools, Baloney and Cheese Sandwich.
Let's see what's cooking. It's time for yoyomax12.
Hello everyone. First off, you're going to need some bread. I used this pound cake that looks a lot like bread. I had two kinds. I had that smaller loaf that has kind of a whole wheat color to it, and I had this larger pound cake that looks more like white bread. Now my larger pound cake, the edges were kind of falling off as I was slicing it, so the crust looked kind of patchy, so I decided just to slice off the crust to make it look like a sandwich that you sliced the crust off of it. So that's for the white bread, and then the whole wheat is the other one. Now for the bologna slices, you're going to use candy melts. About a dozen yellow, a dozen red candy melts, and you'll also add about equal amounts of brownish candy melts like peanut butter. I didn't have those, but I did have these butterscotch chips, which is about the right color, so I used those instead, and I melted those in the microwave. Now for the bologna slice, you'll need a mold to make the slice. I used this plastic lid off of a spaghetti keeper that I have, and all you have to do is just line it with aluminum foil. I also made a smaller bologna slice using the lid of a mayonnaise jar. So there are the candy melts out of the microwave. If they're not completely melted, put them back in for about 10-15 seconds at a time, and then just keep stirring until it's nice and smooth. And as you can see, that does make a great bologna color. And then add a little bit into the mold and just tap it until it spreads out evenly. You want it to be nice and thin, and tapping also will remove any bubbles that might be in your mixture. And then put that somewhere to harden. I just put mine in the refrigerator so it would harden up quickly. Only takes a couple of minutes. Now for the cheese, I'm using about equal amounts of yellow and orange, and then just a few white candy melts just to lighten it up. Same thing, melted it in the microwave, gave it a stir. And I'm looking for that American cheese, that kind of cheddar cheese color, that cheese slice orange color. And I think I did a pretty good job getting it, or like a Cheese Whiz kind of a color. I put the candy melts in a Ziploc bag, and then I'm using my slices of pound cake as a reference for size. I'm just going to draw out the cheese, just squeezing it out through a small hole in the Ziploc bag. So I outlined it, then filled it in, and then I use a spoon just to smooth it out, because you want these to be nice and thin like a real cheese slice. And then I did the same thing for the other piece of pound cake. And then I added a piece of wax paper on top, and I just lightly pressed down because you want to try to get it nice and flat on both sides. If your cheese slices kind of get out of shape, don't worry about it. We're going to trim them afterwards. And here are the bologna slices out of the refrigerator, and they are hardened. There's one larger one, and then here's the one that came from the mayonnaise jar lid. A little bit smaller, a little bit thinner. I think I like that one better. And here's the cheese out of the refrigerator. Just peel off that top piece of wax paper, and then just trim it square with a sharp knife. And it actually trims up quite nicely. I mean, cheese slices aren't often perfect, but the ones that come wrapped in plastic usually are very, very square. And that's pretty much it. You just have to assemble it into a sandwich. Now you could use like a white frosting as mayo, let's say, or yellow frosting as mustard to glue everything together, but I just kind of stacked everything. So there's my white bread bologna sandwich, and then here is the one that looks more like whole wheat. And to make it look a little bit more realistic, I just add some potato chips on the side to go with it. And there you go. We have the white bread bologna sandwich and the whole wheat bologna sandwich. Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments. I think mine is this one's my favorite one right here. This one's all right, but I find the bread a little bit too square. And once you take a bite out of it, it looks awesome. Now, I have more Food That Fools on a playlist on my channel, so go ahead and click on your screen to see that. And there'll be more Food That Fools coming up in the upcoming months. Thanks for watching.